According to the United Nations, around 500,000 Palestinian refugees are registered in Syria. They've largely stayed out of the conflict between President Bashar al-Assad's security forces and the rebels trying to topple him. But in recent months, fighting has escalated in and around their camps, and more have fled to neighboring Lebanon in search for safety. Kate Parkinson reports from Beirut.
In this maze of tiny streets live 24,000 Palestinian refugees, squeezed into just 1 square kilometre. Hiding among them are around 140 new refugee families, Palestinians from Syria, already refugees there, now twice displaced. More and more Palestinians are fleeing across the border as fighting intensifies in Syria. The United Nations say around 3,000 have arrived in Lebanon since July. Most don't want to be seen, but we were invited into one home. 2 families live in this room, 10 people in total. They don't want to give us their names. They're afraid to talk about the conflict in Syria, they say, and worried about their future in Lebanon. The Palestinians of Syria are only granted authority to stay in Lebanon for 7 days. After that, they have to apply for an extension every 2 weeks and pay around $35 each time. Now, that may not sound like much, but most of these people left home with nothing, and they're afraid if they can't afford to pay, they could be sent back to Syria. Omar has lived in this camp all of his life. He works for a small NGO that's been helping the new arrivals. He says no one else is.
Nobody knows what will happen in the future because there's no governmental programs to help them here in Lebanon. So we help them day by day. And we don't know what will happen after a week, after a month.
The living conditions here are much worse than in Syria, and the Palestinians don't get the same help or aid as the other Syrian refugees. But still, they continue to flee from the conflict. Their only hope that their safe haven won't be temporary. Kate Parkinson, CCTV, Beirut.